The message sat there. Seen. No reply. You checked your phone again. Then again. Minutes turned into hours, and your mind started racing. Did I say something wrong? Did I come off too strong? Is she losing interest? You replayed the conversation in your head like a broken record. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. The moment you start chasing a reply, you lose your power. And in this video, you're going to learn exactly what to do when she reads your message and doesn't respond, without looking desperate, without losing your self-respect, and without pushing her even further away. First, understand this clearly: silence is information. When someone reads your message and doesn't reply, that is a response. It may not be the one you wanted, but it tells you something important. Either she's busy, she's unsure, or she's not prioritizing you at that moment. And instead of reacting emotionally, you need to respond strategically. Most people make the mistake of sending another message immediately. Did you see my text? Or, hello? And that's where everything goes wrong. You don't chase attention. You attract it. Now listen carefully. The strongest move you can make is no move at all. Do nothing. Don't double text. Don't try to explain yourself. Don't send memes to lighten the mood. Silence meets silence. This is where you separate yourself from the crowd. Because while others are panicking, you're calm. While others are seeking validation, you're grounded. This is the essence of Stoicism. Control what you can control, and let go of what you cannot. When you step back, something powerful happens. You regain your emotional balance. You stop giving your attention away so cheaply. And most importantly, you create space. Space is what builds curiosity. Space is what makes someone wonder, why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? That curiosity is more powerful than any message you could send. But let's go deeper. Why does this situation affect you so much? It's not just about the message, it's about expectation. You expected a reply. You expected interest. And when that expectation isn't met, it creates discomfort. Stoicism teaches you to detach from outcomes. You send a message, and that's where your control ends. Whether she replies or not is outside your control. Once you accept this, you become unshakable. Now, if she eventually replies, don't reward the delay with instant enthusiasm. Maintain your pace. Respond calmly, without overinvesting. This shows that your life doesn't revolve around her response. You have priorities, goals, and a life that commands your attention. That's what makes you attractive, not constant availability, but controlled presence. And if she doesn't reply at all? Then you move on. Not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. You don't beg for attention where it's not freely given. You don't try to convince someone to see your value. You are the value. The moment you internalize this, everything changes. Your confidence rises, your standards sharpen, and your energy shifts. Here's something most people ignore: rejection, or perceived rejection, is a filter. It removes the people who aren't aligned with you. Instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as clarity. You're not here to win everyone over. You're here to connect with the right people. And the right person won't leave you guessing where you stand. Focus on your life. Build your discipline. Improve your mindset. When your world becomes bigger than a single message, situations like this lose their power over you. You stop reacting, and you start choosing. So the next time she reads your message and doesn't reply, remember this: your silence is your strength. Your patience is your power. And your self-control is what sets you apart. If this message resonated with you, without begging, and without losing who you are in the process. Because most people are taught the wrong way to handle situations like this. They're told to try harder, to send another message, to prove their worth. But the truth is simple: value doesn't beg to be noticed. It is felt. And the more you try to force someone to see you, the more you push them away. This is why restraint is power. This is why discipline wins. Think about it. When someone knows you're always available, always waiting, always ready to respond instantly, there's no challenge, no mystery, no reason for them to invest emotionally. But when you step back and focus on your own path, your energy shifts. You become less predictable, more grounded, and far more attractive without even trying. Now, this doesn't mean you play games. It means you live with standards. There's a difference. Playing games is manipulation. Having standards is self-respect. You're not ignoring her to get a reaction. You're simply refusing to abandon your peace for someone else's attention. That mindset alone puts you ahead of most people. Let's talk about emotional control. The urge to check your phone repeatedly, to overthink every word, to imagine worst-case scenarios. That's your mind seeking certainty. But certainty is not always available. Stoicism teaches you to be comfortable in uncertainty. You don't need immediate answers to remain calm. You don't need validation to feel secure. You are steady, regardless of external responses. And here's something powerful. When you stop reacting impulsively, you start observing clearly. You notice patterns. You see who values your time and who doesn't. You recognize who is consistent and who is not. This clarity protects you from investing in the wrong people. Now imagine this scenario. Days pass, and suddenly she replies. Most people would jump in with excitement, replying instantly, over-engaging, trying to make up for lost time. But not you. You respond when it's convenient for you. You keep it simple. You don't overextend. This shows that your attention is earned, not given away freely. And if she questions your distance or your timing, that's even better. It means she noticed. It means the dynamic has shifted. But you don't explain yourself excessively. You don't justify your behavior. You remain calm, composed, and focused. Mystery isn't created by what you say, it's created by what you don't say. Let's be honest for a moment. Not every situation will turn into a success story. Sometimes, she won't reply at all. And that's okay. Because your goal isn't to win someone over, it's to maintain your standard. You don't lower your value to gain attention. You elevate your mindset and attract what aligns with you. This is where most people fail. They tie their self-worth to someone else's response. If she replies, they feel good. If she doesn't, they feel rejected. That's a dangerous cycle. Your worth should never be determined by a notification. It should come from within, from your discipline, your purpose, and your actions. So instead of waiting for a message, build something meaningful. Work on your goals. Strengthen your habits. Develop a life that excites you so much that a delayed reply becomes insignificant. When your focus shifts from chasing people to building yourself, everything changes. And here's the irony. When you stop chasing, you often become the one being chased. Not because you're playing a role, but because you've become someone worth pursuing. Someone who is calm under pressure, patient in uncertainty, and strong in silence. Remember this always: attention is cheap, but respect is earned. And respect starts with how you treat yourself. If you tolerate being ignored and still chase, you teach others that your time has no value. But when you walk away from low effort, you set a standard that only the right people will meet. So the next time you're left unread, don't panic. Don't react. Don't chase. Step back, stay focused, and let your actions, or lack of them, speak for you. If you want more content that helps you master your emotions, build unshakable confidence, and move through life with clarity and control, subscribe to this channel now. Because what you're learning here isn't just about messages, it's about power, discipline, and becoming a man who is never shaken by silence. Because the truth goes even deeper than just how you respond, it's about who you become in moments like this. Anyone can stay confident when things are going well. Anyone can feel in control when they're getting attention. But real strength is revealed in silence, in uncertainty, in not knowing. This is your test, not hers. Every time you resist the urge to double text, every time you choose discipline over emotion, you are building a version of yourself that is harder to shake, harder to ignore, and impossible to replace. This is how confidence is formed, not by constant success, but by controlled reactions. Now let's talk about something most people avoid: attachment. When you send a message and immediately start waiting for a reply, you've already placed your emotional state in someone else's hands. That's not connection, That's dependence. And dependence creates anxiety. The more attached you are to the outcome, the more powerless you feel. But when you detach, everything shifts. You send a message, and then you move on with your day. You don't sit there refreshing your screen. You don't build stories in your head. You stay productive. You stay focused. You stay in control. This is what emotional independence looks like. And here's the part that might challenge you. Sometimes, her not replying has nothing to do with you. People have their own lives, their own distractions, their own priorities. But instead of assuming the worst, you stay neutral. You don't create negative meaning where there is none. You simply observe and adjust. However, neutrality doesn't mean tolerance for low effort. If a pattern forms, delayed replies, inconsistent communication, lack of interest, you don't ignore it. You recognize it. You don't chase clarity from someone who is showing you confusion. You step back and redirect your energy to where it's appreciated. This is how you protect your time. Because your time is your most valuable asset. Once it's gone, you don't get it back. So why spend it worrying about someone who isn't investing in you? Why give mental energy to a situation that isn't giving you anything in return? Instead, invest in yourself. Go to the gym. Learn a skill. Build something meaningful. Strengthen your mindset. The more you grow, the less situations like this control you. You become too focused, too driven, too grounded to be shaken by a delayed reply. And here's something powerful to remember. People feel energy, even through a screen. When you're calm, composed, and not chasing, it comes through in your communication. There's no pressure, no neediness, no desperation. Just presence. And presence is rare. That's what makes you stand out. Not how many messages you send. Not how quickly you reply. But how you carry yourself when things are uncertain. That's where attraction is built. That's where respect is earned. So don't rush. Don't force. Don't chase. Let things unfold. And if it works naturally. If it doesn't, you walk away naturally. No drama. No overthinking. No loss of self-respect. That's power. And understand this. Every situation like this is shaping you. It's teaching you patience. It's teaching you control. It's teaching you how to move with intention instead of emotion. These are skills that will benefit you far beyond texting. They will shape your relationships, your career, your decisions, your entire life. So don't see this as a small moment. See it as training. Training for a stronger mindset. Training for a higher standard. Training for a better version of yourself. And the more you train, the less you react. The less you react, the more you observe. The more you observe, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the less anything can shake you. If you've made it this far, you're already different from most people. You're choosing growth over impulse. Discipline over emotion. Strength over weakness. So take this mindset with you. Apply it. Live it. Become it. And if you want more content that sharpens your mind, builds your confidence, and helps you move through life with clarity and control, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Because the next video might be the one that changes everything for you. Because at the highest level, this isn't even about her anymore. It's about standards. The kind of standards that shape your life quietly but powerfully. Standards that decide who gets access to you, who stays, and who fades away without resistance. When you operate with high standards, you don't need to chase responses. You don't need to decode mixed signals. You don't need to wonder where you stand. Why? Because anything unclear becomes a clear no in your mind. And that level of clarity protects your peace. Most people are afraid to think this way. They hold on to possibilities. They overanalyze small signs. They convince themselves to wait longer, try harder, and give more. But all of that comes from scarcity, the belief that this is the best they can get. You are not operating from scarcity. You are operating from choice. And when you truly understand that, you stop settling for half effort. You stop entertaining inconsistency. You stop giving your attention to situations that don't grow you, don't respect you, and don't value you. Now here's a shift that will change everything. Instead of asking, "Why didn't she reply?" start asking, "Does this situation deserve my energy?" That single question puts you back in control instantly. Because your energy is currency. Where you invest it determines what grows in your life. If you invest it in overthinking, anxiety grows. If you invest it in discipline, confidence grows. If you invest it in purpose, success grows. So choose wisely. Let's also address patience, not passive waiting, but active patience. Passive waiting is sitting there hoping she replies. Active patience is moving forward with your life while allowing things to unfold naturally. You're not stuck. You're progressing. That's a major difference. And as you progress, something interesting happens. You start to outgrow situations that once bothered you. The things that used to trigger anxiety now feel small. The silence that once felt heavy now feels irrelevant. That's growth. You don't become stronger by avoiding situations like this. You become stronger by facing them with control. By choosing not to react. By choosing not to chase. By choosing yourself every single time. And here's something you need to hear clearly. Being ignored is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of alignment. The right people don't create confusion. They don't leave you questioning your value. They show up with clarity and consistency. So instead of taking it personally, take it as direction. Direction away from what doesn't serve you. Direction toward what does. That's how you move forward without bitterness. Without anger. Without resentment. You simply adjust your path and keep going. Because your life is bigger than one conversation. Your future is bigger than one person. Your value is bigger than one moment of silence. Never forget that. And the more you remind yourself of this, the less power these situations have over you. You become calm in the face of uncertainty. You become steady in the face of silence. You become focused regardless of external distractions. That's the mindset of someone who wins in life, not just in relationships, but in everything. So carry yourself with that awareness. Walk with that confidence. Move with that discipline. And never break your standards just to get a response. If this message is opening your mind and helping you see things differently, then you already know what to do. Subscribe to this channel now and stay connected, because every video here is designed to sharpen your thinking, strengthen your mindset, and elevate your life. And remember, the one who stays calm, stays in control. The one who stays in control always has the power. And once you truly understand that, you stop reacting to every small shift in someone else's behavior. You stop letting a notification, or the lack of one, decide your mood. You become steady. You become grounded. You become the kind of person who doesn't need constant reassurance to feel secure. That's rare. Because most people are controlled by what they see on their screen. A reply makes them feel important. Silence makes them feel invisible. They rise and fall based on someone else's attention. But you're stepping into a different mindset now, one where your emotional state is self-controlled, not externally influenced. Now let's talk about focus. Every minute you spend thinking about why she didn't reply is a minute taken away from building your life. And life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Growth doesn't wait. So while others are stuck in cycles of overthinking, you're moving forward. This is how you separate yourself. You redirect your attention. You channel that energy into something productive. You turn distraction into discipline. And over time, that discipline compounds. It builds confidence. It builds self-respect. It builds a life that is too full to be disrupted by something as small as a delayed message. And here's the truth most people don't realize. When your life is full, you don't need to chase connection. You attract it naturally. People are drawn to those who are focused, purposeful, and emotionally stable. Not because they try to impress, but because they don't need to. That's real confidence. It's quiet. It's controlled. It doesn't announce itself. It shows in your actions, your patience, and your ability to walk away from anything that doesn't match your level. Now imagine this. Instead of checking your phone, you're working on your goals. Instead of worrying about a reply, you're improving your skills. Instead of waiting for validation, you're creating your own sense of worth. That shift changes everything. Because now, even if she replies, it's just an addition to your life, not the center of it. And if she doesn't, nothing is lost. You're still progressing. You're still growing. You're still winning in your own lane. That's the mindset you want to build. Unshakable. Focused. Independent. And let's be clear, this isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming balanced. You can still care. You can still show interest. But you don't lose yourself in the process. You don't overextend. You don't chase what isn't reciprocated. You meet effort with effort. Nothing more. Nothing less. That balance is powerful. It keeps you grounded while still allowing genuine connections to grow. It protects you from giving too much too soon. And it ensures that the people who stay in your life actually deserve to be there. So as you move forward, remember this principle: your attention is earned, not given. Your time is valuable. Your energy is limited. And where you invest it will shape your future. Don't waste it on uncertainty. Don't spend it on inconsistency. Don't give it to people who don't recognize its value. Instead, invest it in growth. Invest it in purpose. Invest it in becoming someone who doesn't need to chase anything, because what's meant for you will meet you at your level. And when you reach that level, everything changes. You stop asking for attention. You start receiving respect. You stop forcing connections. You start attracting alignment. You stop reacting emotionally. You start responding intentionally. That's the transformation. So the next time your message is read and ignored, don't see it as rejection. See it as a reminder to stay disciplined, stay focused, and stay true to your standards. Because in the end, the person who controls their emotions controls their life. If you're ready to keep building that level of control, that level of confidence, and that level of clarity, subscribe to this channel right now. Stay consistent, stay focused, and keep evolving, because the best version of you is still being built, one decision at a time. And as you keep building that version of yourself, something quiet but powerful begins to happen. You stop needing outcomes to feel in control. Whether she replies or not becomes irrelevant, because your direction doesn't change. You're still moving forward. You're still growing. You're still in command of your time, your energy, and your focus. That's freedom. Not the kind of freedom that comes from getting everything you want, but the kind that comes from not being controlled by what you want. That's a different level of strength. A level where you're no longer pulled by impulses or pushed by emotions. You act with intention. You move with clarity. And this is where patience becomes your greatest advantage. Because most people can't wait. They rush. They react. They reveal too much too soon. But you hold your ground. You understand that anything worth having takes time. And more importantly, you understand that forcing things only leads to weak foundations. So you allow things to develop naturally. If she replies, you engage calmly. If she doesn't, you continue your path. No pressure. No frustration. No loss of focus. That kind of mindset is rare, and it's exactly what sets you apart. Now let's talk about identity. You're no longer the person who waits anxiously for replies. You're no longer the person who questions their worth because of someone else's silence. You're becoming someone who knows their value, protects their peace, and moves with purpose. That identity shift is everything. Because once you see yourself differently, you behave differently. And when your behavior changes, your results change. You start attracting better situations, better people, and better opportunities, not by chasing them, but by becoming aligned with them. And understand this clearly: people respond to how you present yourself. If you come across as someone who is always seeking attention, you'll be treated as optional. But if you present yourself as someone who values their time and doesn't tolerate inconsistency, you'll be treated with respect. It's not about demanding respect. It's about embodying it. And that embodiment shows in the smallest actions. Not double texting. Not over-explaining. Not reacting impulsively. These may seem like small things, but they signal something much bigger: a person who is in control of themselves. And self-control is power. Because when you control yourself, no one else can control you. No delayed reply can shake you. No silence can disturb you. No uncertainty can weaken you. You become steady, regardless of what's happening around you. That's the goal. Not to control others, but to master yourself. So take a moment and think about this. How many times have you given away your power by reacting too quickly? How many times have you overinvested in someone who wasn't matching your effort? How many times have you let a simple situation disrupt your entire mood? Now imagine a different version of yourself. Calm, focused, unbothered. A person who sends a message and moves on. A person who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't overthink. A person who knows that their value isn't tied to a response. That's who you're becoming. And every time you choose discipline over emotion, you get closer to that version. So don't rush the process. Don't look for quick fixes. Build the mindset step by step, moment by moment, decision by decision. Because real change isn't loud. It's quiet. It's consistent. It's built in moments like this. When you choose not to react, when you choose to stay focused, when you choose yourself. And over time, those choices compound. They turn into confidence. They turn into strength. They turn into a life where you're no longer chasing anything, because everything you need is already within you. If you've stayed with this message until now, then you're already ahead of most people. You're not just listening, you're thinking, reflecting, evolving. So take that next step. Subscribe to this channel right now and stay connected, because every video here is designed to help you sharpen your mindset, strengthen your discipline, and elevate every area of your life. Keep building. Keep growing. And remember, the moment you stop chasing is the moment you start attracting.